They're not really fruitcakes, they're liars. They know all this is untrue. They don't believe the things that they put out. Their primary theory at the time, early on, was that a plane could not have possibly have struck the Pentagon. Stupid me, I began to make videos debunking the 9/11 truth conspiracy theories. This is how I became familiar with this shadow party. Through debunking the 9/11 conspiracy theories, I became familiar with the shadow party. Because when I would make a video, totally logical, totally true, totally reasonable, dozens and dozens and dozens of commenters, viewers on YouTube would show up to mock me and ridicule me. And of course I immediately wondered, who are these people? Who are these people? Those few of them who offered a rebuttal of my assertions seemed to be trapped in la-la land, out of touch with reality. I could not get through to them, and I eventually realized they don't want the truth, of course. They are propagating disinformation. Their only hope is to wear me down or intimidate me. Of course a plane hit the Pentagon. Of course there was rush hour traffic in front of the Pentagon that morning. Of course there were multiple witnesses who came forward. And this first example of debunking conspiracy theories proved to be the pattern throughout. This was their MO in regard to every theory they put forth. Some of you know that the 9/11 truth movement is utterly bogus. But I saw that I was deluged by members of the shadow party. None of my viewers, or very few of my viewers, were normal, everyday Americans. I was being targeted by a worldwide network of anti-Americans. And they announced their intention to target my friends on YouTube, some of whom were naive and young, and who didn't even have a grasp of what I was trying to put across, because they had the minds of children. So I thought it best to close that account and reopen in another name, thus shaking this shadow party off of me, to reemerge elsewhere, unknown, and to try to get this message out without attracting the attention of the shadow party. The first time I made a video mentioning Iran, my video simply mentioned Iran, the shadow party was all over me again. My subscribers, in both cases, were members of the shadow party. They sent friend invites. I accepted these invites because I was collecting names. My true friends on YouTube, with whom I communicated, number one, were not interested in politics. They didn't subscribe to my videos. In private messages, they agreed with me and to some extent empathized with me. They also believed that the Bush administration was corrupt and untrustworthy, even though they were not militant or openly hostile. They shared with me their doubts. Thus, my subscribers and friends on YouTube, officially in the friends list, my group of friends, and my subscribers were actually almost entirely composed of members of the shadow party. So when I made a video exposing the shadow party, and for example its attempts to manipulate the Americans who had stupidly joined the Ron Paul revolution, I was hit with hundreds of one-star ratings. You see, their efforts to silence me and intimidate me had the effect of showing me that they were a network, coordinated network, significant in numbers, and in fact worldwide. Why would people in Germany and Venezuela or Australia be backing Ron Paul? Well, these same people in Germany and Venezuela, Australia, Canada, all over the world, are also backing Barack Obama now. And these same people opened accounts on YouTube posing as Americans, or perhaps they are Americans, but they are communist, socialist, Marxist in their ideology, yet they strangely wrap themselves in flags, American flags, and are fond of quoting from Patrick Henry, Thomas Jefferson, George Washington. The members of the Ron Paul movement have the same talking points as the socialist movement. Scott Ritter, the discredited, lying former weapons inspector, has the same talking points as the Ron Paul movement. A quick search on the internet reveals connections between Ritter and socialists and the 9/11 Truth movement, socialists and the anti-war movement, socialists and the so-called anti-globalization movement, which is just a fancy word of saying we're against business, especially international businesses. This is the shadow party. I even created a website trying in the beginning, with what little information I had, to alert Americans to the existence of this shadow party, which was attempting to subvert American democracy. I'm aware that most of my viewers are in fact members of this same shadow party. Very few of my viewers are everyday Americans. I'm not at all assured that my message got out as I wished it would.